the Blue Jackets have received a little bit of good news here early in the offseason. Alexandre Texier has told the organization that he plans on returning for the 2023-24 season. Both parties have agreed to slide his current contract forward 1 year, so he still has 1 year left on about $1.5 million cap hit, and he will be a restricted free agent at the end of the season, so the Blue Jackets retaining a bit of contract control with him. So for those unfamiliar with the timeline, during the 2021-22 season, he was kind of in flux at the beginning of the lineup, kind of struggling to find his way, but then he really did seem to have found a place on the third line, kind of a bottom six role, and especially on the penalty kill, he was looking very good, very comfortable. He was playing he was one of the best forwards on the team when, unfortunately, he was injured with a broken finger. He returned to his home country of France for rehab, and then he suffered some personal losses, and he was granted a leave of absence for the rest of that 2021-22 season. During the offseason in 2022, he then informed Columbus that he was not ready to play in the NHL from a mental standpoint, and he would instead play in the Swiss League with the ZSC Lions, which was about a 4-hour drive from his home, so much closer to where he feels comfortable than obviously in the States, and Columbus would be. Posted a stat line of 13 goals, 22 assists for 35 points in 46 games played. The current plan is for him to play for France in the upcoming World Championships, take 2 weeks off, and then train for the NHL. This is nothing but good news for the Jackets, and while this was always the plan for him to return, but during the course of a whole season, it can be a little bit, you start to doubt whether he's actually going to come back or whether he's just going to maybe think that it's better for him to just stay in Europe for the duration of his hockey career. And while obviously that would be a big loss for Columbus, that might have been the best for his mental health, but apparently he feels good enough to come back to the NHL. Jarmo Kekalainen's talking about how Texier has the smile back that he seemed to have been missing for this past period of time. So that's good to hear from both a hockey standpoint of, hey, the Blue Jackets are getting somebody who has been one of their better players in the past back in their lineup, but also just from a human standpoint of this person does mentally feel okay enough to play in the NHL once again, which is cool. But somebody who won't be playing in the World Championships is Elvis Merzlikins. He has suited up as goalie for Latvia in the past. He had a really interesting quote in his media after the season. He has some interesting quote about how Columbus pays the bills and Latvia doesn't really do that, so he has to stick and focus on getting better for Columbus. Now, Elvis might have come up with that line all by himself. However, I do feel like there was some pressure from the organization. Again, this isn't confirmed or anything, but it wouldn't surprise me, I guess I should say. It wouldn't surprise me if a talking point during his exit interviews was, hey, we paid you this contract, we're a year into it, and you have severely underplayed what we are currently paying you to play for. So it wouldn't shock me if there were some conversations about you're making this amount of money and not nearly reaching that level of play. We're paying you this amount of money. We need you to be focused on us this offseason. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's where that kind of quote came from. But again, maybe Elvis Merzlikins just kind of said, you know what, this is something I need to focus on. Latvia's on the back burner. He could have come up with that by himself, but judging by how I'm sure his exit interview with Jarmo wasn't all that friendly, and this quote, it does seem to feel like there has been some organizational pressure, and I think perhaps rightly so, that maybe he needs to focus on getting better for the NHL club. Somebody who will be playing in the World Championships is Patrik Laine. He will be playing for Finland. That's good for him and good for his home country that he gets to play in that. My only hope for that World Championships is please, Patrik Laine, do not get hurt and die. Please do not kill your hockey career on this World Championships. That's all I'm asking. Thank you very much. So thank you all for watching. If you made it this far into the video, I will see you at the next one.